My name is Kayla Mellon. This is Connor Buckner. We're both seniors here at Quincy University, and we had transferred from John Wood our junior year. But that's enough about us. You're probably wondering why we've gathered you here on a lovely late Wednesday morning, and I promise we will tell you, but not without a little backstory first. So how many of you guys are from Quincy or the Quincy area? All right, cool. So it might not come as a surprise to you as Quincy has a lot of restaurants. So how is this a challenge? Well, it's a challenge because we have so many restaurants that we tend to forget about them all. Quincy has this really nice street called Broadway. That's where everything happens. You have restaurants, you have shopping, doctor's offices. It's very, very busy. And for the businesses on that street, great. People are seeing it, they're gonna come there. People that aren't on that street might get a little scary because a lot of people tend to forget that they exist unless they, one, already know, or two, have heard it through someone else. My family tends to only go to 5 restaurants in a year, and that's just because we're normal, simple people, and we tend to like those. But we don't really know the variety of restaurants Quincy offers us, so how do we really know that these are our favorites? What if there's more out there that we're just missing because we go to the same 5 restaurants? On to challenge number 2. With many restaurants come many menus, and menus are subject to change, whether that be seasonal or maybe they're trying to upgrade their menu. Foods that were popular in 2015 might not be popular in 2021, and we can even go as far as to say foods in 2020 aren't as popular as foods in 2021. Therefore, restaurants, in order to stay relevant, need to change their menus as rapidly as trends do. Along with that, food availability. Some foods aren't offered all year round, and sometimes food gets low depending on what year it is, if it's a good year for crops or not. Therefore, restaurants still have to adapt and keep in mind that these foods that we're offering at this time, well, they might not be available anymore, therefore our menu must reflect that. Challenge number 3, specials. As the same as menus, change just as often, if not more frequently, because we have daily specials. Along with daily specials, we have weekly specials, or maybe specials that happen on special occasions. What do I mean by that? Specials that happen maybe over the weekend. The businesses are trying to promote their food, get more people there, so they might have a special over the weekend. Or maybe there's an event going on. We just got done with Easter, which meant Fridays leading up to Easter were fish fries. Because a lot of people in Quincy tend to be Catholic, therefore they could not eat meat on Fridays. Now that Easter's done, fish fries probably won't be as prevalent until summer comes, when fish is in full season of people want to be in the summer and eat fish. So with these challenges, I find myself asking, well, how do I know how many restaurants there are? How do I know what my favorite restaurants are if I only go to 5 a year and that's it? How do I know if the menus are changing and up to date unless I'm constantly going into the restaurant and figuring that out? And the same with specials. How can we keep up? Which led into some motivation on our part to create this project. We were sitting in class one day trying to think of a project for us to complete, and our professor inspired an idea. He was saying how it's very hard for him to find food in the Quincy area because he's not originally from here. Therefore, a lot of the food that he finds, he's either trying to look up online or he's asking his students or his coworkers or someone to tell him where to eat. And by doing this, he is placing the control of where he wants to eat into someone else's hands, because now they're in control of, well, what food do I like? Do I think he will like this as well? I can afford this food, can he afford it? Or maybe he can afford food that I can't afford. Anyway, you're placing your control of, this is the food that I like, into someone else's hands, because we all have different taste buds. So it's not really fair for us to say, this is a good place, because we really don't know. And we might not know because we go to the same 5 restaurants every day. What if there's more out there that we're not even exploring? And he is not the only one. We have 2 colleges here at Quincy, one being John Wood Community College, the other being Quincy University, both of which bring in a lot of students who aren't originally from the Quincy area. What does that mean for them? That means when they're trying to find food, they're either asking their friends, asking their classmates, roommates, professors, someone to tell them where to eat. QU's a little luckier. We have a dining hall, so during the week, students are pretty much taken care of. But as the weekend rolls around, a lot of people want to go out and experience some other food, and then they're in the same boat of, well, do my friends have similar taste buds to me? Can I afford the same food that my friends tell me can afford? And do my friends really know the variety of restaurants that are available in Quincy? Motivation number one. Motivation number two stems from us living in uncertain times. We're in a pandemic, seems to be going better right now, but as we know, circumstances can change in a matter of minutes. Therefore, in the very beginning of the pandemic, we were all forced into lockdown, which for restaurants was a little scary because if they didn't offer takeout to begin with, now they had to if they wanted to stay open. And if they did offer takeout, well, now this is their only option. Well, me as a customer, that just took away my best option to figure out if the menus and specials are the same that I remember, because they change frequently. So how am I going to figure out what I want to eat? I can either, one, call and ask them nicely, or two, I can try to find it online. Let's go with option number one. I'm going to call. Well, I might not speak for everyone in here, but I think I speak for a lot of people my age to say, I don't like to talk on the phone. I don't think we like to talk to the phone at all because we're used to texting. Therefore, sitting on a phone and asking someone, well, what do you think I should eat? Yeah, that scares me. That scares me a lot. I'm not going to do it. And I also didn't want to waste their time because they would have a lot of customers calling in wanting to do takeout as well. So it's a little selfish of me to be on the line for 5 to 10 minutes saying, okay, now walk me through your whole menu. That's not going to work. So let's go with option number two. Let's find the restaurant online. Well, that's a little tricky too because a lot of restaurants in Quincy don't have a website and their menus are not online. And if they are online, most likely the pictures posted were coming from someone who was at the restaurant and was like, someone can use this, so I'm gonna post it online to help others. Which is great, wonderful, probably not up to date. And I actually just had this happen. My family and I, we do takeouts on Fridays. I call. I know I said I don't like talking on the phone. I do it for growth. My family kind of forces me. And we looked online. We got all of our menus that we wanted. I wrote it out. I practiced it a few times. And then I called. Halfway through my order, the waitress interrupts me and says, yeah, we no longer have that item. If you were looking at our menu online, it's no longer available. Well, shoot. What do I do now? One, she interrupted me, and I had already rehearsed, so that was not cool. And two, now I have to think of another option to come up with that we weren't preparing for. Luckily, she gave me another option, gave it to my dad. He's not picky. He liked it. We don't always get so lucky. We don't always get another option right off the bat. And you can forget about finding specials online because that's a nightmare. You should really just either call or just pretend that you don't even know what specials are and forget about it. And through all these struggles, I would think that there has to be a better way to go about this. There has to be some kind of way to find out what restaurants there are, to see the menus, to see the specials, regardless if I've lived here a long time or not. There needs to be a way for me to find out what food I want to eat. Well, there is. Introducing Food Dude, which makes finding restaurants super easy. Well, how do we do this? We keep all of our menus on one page. So you will see all the restaurants, and when you click on them, you can see their menus. What's the catch? They got to be signed up through us first, which shouldn't be an issue because it's simple, it's easy, and it's great. It's going to be great. Along with restaurants and their menus all on one page, we have specials on another page. So if there's specials available, you can go ahead and see them right there. Super simple and easy. And when we first started this project, we thought, we're going to make life easy for the customers because no one deserves to be hangry. We should just find out what food we want. But as we dug more into it, we decided, no, we want to make life easier for restaurant owners as well. Because Quincy is a smaller town, we have a lot of small local businesses. With small businesses comes not a lot of wiggle room for extra activities. Extra activities meaning maybe a website, maintaining the website, proper advertisement besides word of mouth, or just the local radio stations that we have. By signing up through us, these restaurant owners no longer have to make a website, no longer have to maintain their website, and they're getting a little bit of advertisement because by being on our page, people can see them, and people want to be like, hey, why don't we go to this restaurant? So very simple, very clean, very easy. And now I know what you're thinking now. Well, isn't there already a product similar to this? Well, Connor, is there a product similar to this?
There's a few things similar. The first thing, obviously, is Google. If you've ever been on the internet, you can't avoid Google. You could try, but you'll fail. Google will find you. But basically, the first thing would be obviously just Googling the restaurant, trying to look up the menu online, which is okay if it is online. Kayla's already talked a bit about those issues, where it's out of date, or it hasn't been uploaded, or maybe you look it up and it's an older one, or it's not, or it's one a different person put up. So Google is, as always, an option, but it's probably not the best option for what you're looking for. Then you go to your next closest thing, which is probably your social media, primarily Facebook or something similar. And that also has its own set of issues. There's having to, typically if you're looking for a menu, you have to go into a different group or a Facebook group, which runs into the same issue. You have to find it, you have to be a part of the group, you have to join it, and then that's just a hassle. It's not simple, it's not just here it is, here you go. That's the issue with different Facebook groups or stuff like that, or similar social media. Now, for Food Dude, taking a step back from all that and talking about the technical aspects for a minute, Food Dude runs on a combination of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and the Firebase online database. And just kind of take a moment to go through those. HTML it's HTMLs and everything. It's sort of the backbone of the internet and web pages. It's a little holding document that just contains everything you're looking for. CSS is your style. It takes your typical black and white blocks of text and changes it into something that looks very good. You'll get to look at some great CSS style when you actually bring it up later to see all the work Kayla put into that. And finally, JavaScript is a bit more complicated to talk about. JavaScript it's the control. It's when I click this button, this happens. When I go to this section, this happens. It's another piece of that. And those are the three sort of main backbones behind in everything on the internet. Here's the holder, what makes it look good, and the interaction. The interesting part for our system is Firebase Online Database, which is as it sounds like, a free online database from Google. Now, Firebase is, as I said, free to use, so there's no cost. It has a scaling model to where, depending on how much data you store, it costs more and more as you go. So it's even now using it, it's completely free to use. Firebase has a large number of features, including the login system we use. It also which we can enable through different systems through Firebase. So going on to actually using the website, we've done our best to make it as straightforward and simple as possible. The main function is restaurants will sign in through the website. They'll get to load their menu online. They'll get a database, and when someone goes to look it up, they'll find it. And it sounds very simple, and that's because it is very simple. We've done our best to make it as quick, easy to use as possible with no distractions, nothing going on in the background. And Kayla, if you want to go ahead and show them.
All right, we've been talking so much about our website. I'll finally show you what it looks like, as it is quite cool to look at. Before I take you directly to the website, I just want to show you something. These are some of the people that we have logged in right now. As you see, my name is not in it. Just trust me on that. And so as right here, we have a home page, which I'll read it for you real quick, which says, "Who are we? We are two people who wanted all their favorite Quincy restaurants on one website. Check out the specials tab to see today's specials, or check out the restaurants tab to see some neat restaurants. Have a restaurant you want to add to our page? Click the login tab and sign up to secure your spot today." And also right here, we have a featured special of the day. So this is our login page for the restaurant owners. Because I do not have a login, when I click this button, it'll give me a space to write my name, which I'll write my name. And then I put in a password. Never guess my password. And here I am. I'm logged in. So right here, I can put in any specials that I want to. And I can also upload a picture of my menu, which is very simple, very easy for anyone, for any of our restaurant owners who want to log in. Log back out. If I come back over here, you will see my name right here at the bottom. So I'm logged in. What does our database look like? Well, it's a little different because we're using Firebase. As Connor said, it's not like a traditional database system. So right here we have our users. There's just a few sample users that we have, their names, their restaurant emails. If they have a special, it is in, and you can see it will be pulled up there soon. And we just have about 7 people in our database right now. Going back, let's go to our restaurants tab. So we have 7 restaurants right here. I'll just click one, Rise and Shine. And there's our menu that we can see. We can easily see any of the foods that we want. Pick it right here. If we don't quite want that, we can go to someone else's, Aunt Sally's, and these are all the foods will be located. Moving on to the specials tab, we have all of our specials. They don't link to anything, they just show you, hey, this person's having this special, and this is what it looks like. I think that's about it for our website. Does anyone want to go back and see anything else, or have we seen everything? Take silence as a good answer. All right. Overall, our project, Food Dude, is here to help people. It makes all of your food needs all in one place. You have your menus, you have your restaurants, you have your specials. Just very simple, makes life easier for the customers, it makes life easier for the restaurant owners, and it's going to help so many people here because regardless if you've lived here a long time, if not, if you want to see the menus, if you want to see the specials, it's all right here for you, in one site, so you can just look at it and you will no longer be hangry.
So we've got a few acknowledgments. First off, we've got to talk about Dr. Husam Ghazaleh, our professor. He's the man who inspired this. It was his talking about the different issues of finding food, moving to a new place that started this whole thing. So thank you, Professor. It's good to have you here. And also we've got to talk about Kayla's friend, Katie Hildebrandt. She's the person who actually came up with the name Food Dude because neither of us could think of a name. We're both horrible at it. And also taking a moment to talk about future directions we want to take this in. First off, find more ways to keep it safe, updates and security just to make it as secure as possible so that we know what's going on, so that we can't have random data on the site and we make sure we know people are who they say they are. Standard issues. There's also making sure it's set up for not just Quincy, but maybe expanding it beyond Quincy into more of a local area type thing. Also implementing options to make sure people can find, say, vegan food or gluten-free or other things to cycle through the menu and make sure you can find, you don't just have to sift through everything again, going with our method to keep it simple, safe, simple and easy to use. That way you can look through and find exactly what you're looking for. Well, I guess starting with the technological issue, this is still something we've been developing. We don't have an option to download a menu yet, which would probably be a good idea so people can hold on to it and keep it with them if they want to revisit the same place, so that'd be a good thing to add. And as for the second issue of technological help, I don't know exactly how we could offer that. I guess we could have a help page, but I don't know exactly how we go about beyond that because it's just a sort of simple. The actual restaurant has to log in and set all this up, but the user, as I said, just keep it as simple as possible, just sort of goes in and just looks through and just finds something, just clicks on it. So, yeah, did you want to get the other one for the restaurant? And for the second question, for restaurants, we haven't really shown this to anyone yet. This is still very much in development and being worked on, so we haven't gone out and shown it to any restaurateur yet. Didn't bring it up, but this is a secondary project. We had to restart this semester. Normally, we would have had significantly more time to work on it and get there.
I think we learned to expect the unexpected because things happen, not just the pandemic. We had to switch projects halfway, and instead of thinking like, oh my goodness, we have to move into something else, we just went into it thinking, no, this is a learning opportunity. This happens in real life, and sometimes you just have to deal with what you have. We also have learned a lot about Firebase. It's something very different for us because we're used to normal relational databases. Therefore, their real-time database that uses JSON trees seemed a little bizarre to us, but I think the more that we look into it, we're really learning that we can learn things that aren't originally taught to us. We can kind of gather the things that we need, and we can ask for help when we need to. We're asking for help through people, and luckily we're getting there at the end of the day. It was pretty important just because I think people get overwhelmed easily with everything that's on. So with a wide range of people, from being able to use the internet very commonly to people who cannot, keeping it simple not only makes it look very clean, it also allows a lot of people to use it, along with local businesses that don't want to spend time and the hassle. This is also very simple and clean for it. So it was very important for us to keep it simple, just so we can hit a majority of people to use this website. I thought you did a very good job of that. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you so much for coming out and listening to our ideas.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you had a good time.